What's up, guys? Max here with another episode of the ScuttleButt Show, and today we're going to finish making a sailor. Okay, so there's actually going to be two videos, so watch this video and watch the next video. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like it, and drop a comment. I'd love to know what you're thinking about the content here on the channel. I realized that there's only 2 episodes of Making a Sailor left. There's episode 5 and episode 6, so we're going to finish those today. I am excited. I'm going to do both back to back, and I'm going to upload them probably today and tomorrow, so when you're seeing this, and then the next day. With that being said, let's jump right in and get started. Ooh, some early morning marching. That's what I like to see.
Scoot to the right, here.
So the person singing, do I have this right? The person singing is your A-rock? No, your R-pock. Oh, man, what is it? So you have your A-pock and your R-pock. One is your leader. I think your R-pock. R-pock is the leader. A-rock, A-pock, assistant. Oh, man. A-pock. Okay, let's go with this, and correct me if I'm wrong. APOC is the leader of your division, the recruit who's like in charge of everybody, who's held accountable for the whole way that everything's going in your boot camp division. And then your RPOC's the assistant to that person. Wait, APOC is the, what did I even just say? Oh man, it's been a while. Okay, RPOC, let's go with this. RPOC is the leader in charge of everything. APOC is assistant. APOC sings cadence. You're 1, a 2, a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. Like that, and then you just walk along to that. So that's what's going on there. Oh, man, I butchered that. I'm certain of it. Go ahead, roast me if you want.
So now that we're going into week 4 with Division 229, and the division as a whole is just starting to work together a lot better.
Division 229, all present or accounted for, sir.
Very well.
So the recruit wearing the chief anchors there, that's going to be your RPOC. That's your leader. So she is obviously in charge of her division, and she gets the anchor device or the collar device of the anchors, and that means that she's in charge of the division.
The standard is set, and they have to do what they can
And
do
a sword.
to reach the standard, and that's helping bring them together as a team.
They say that basic training doesn't get better, you get better. I think that's definitely true.
When we first picked the division up, we can barely get them to stand still and just left or right face, but now coming to week 4 training, they've been marching everywhere, every single day together since the first day we got them.
Now I'm marching every day.
Now I'm marching every day.
Hey.
Yeah, our progression, it's been really cool seeing it.
Do you guys remember any cadences? I remember when my granny was 91, she PT'd just for fun, and that goes up to like when your granny was 99. That's pretty old school. I pulled that one out when I was running in formation in 2009, training for a deployment. So they're in week 4, so they're only about halfway through boot camp. Boot camp's 9 weeks, so they are only halfway through, and they're starting to fall into ranks better and look better and have some more military bearing. They've obviously been getting some training, so we've jumped ahead in time 3 weeks since the last episode. And I'm guessing that we're going to do a bunch of time jumps between now and the next one. Since there's only one more episode left, you're going to have to cover basically 7 weeks of this whole thing in 2 episodes. So we'll see how that goes.
And just looking back on our P-Day days and the first day that we tried to start marching and how horrible it looked. And it's kind of like the progression just happened right before our eyes.
The transition is night and day.
Every time cadences come on, I'm always in the back screaming, and you can hear my voice all the way in the front.
The U.S. Navy is the best.
The U.S. Navy is the best.
The division has come a long way physically, but they still have a long way to go. Here at Recruit Training Command, we have physical fitness training 6 days a week. So about 3 days a week, we do some in-house physical fitness activities.
They're looking stronger.
Push-ups, jumping jacks,
They're doing better for sure.
running planks, different exercises that we can do right here in a small.
Just so you guys know, anytime you're doing a workout in your berthing, it's not good. That means that they're in trouble. There's no scheduled workouts in the berthing. That's only when something bad happens. You go to the gym, the gymnasium, like the basket, like the indoor track workout floor area to do scheduled PTs.
To get the recruits in better shape, and then 4 days a week we go over to Freedom Hall.
There you go, Freedom Hall.
Where they get to run.
You should be able to meet the physical fitness standards when you get to boot camp. If you can't do it in the middle or at the end of boot camp, that's a huge problem. You blew it. Your fault.
So it's all a building block to get them up to the standard that the Navy wants them to be at prior to leaving Recruit Training Command.
Yeah, I've seen my waistline go down, which is awesome. Fitness is going well.
It's that galley food.
It also helps that we.
Also, I don't know if it's still like this, but when I was in boot camp at the galley, they had cake and shit. Like they had like garbage food you could eat if you choose to. You get to go through the line once, you get to get whatever you want, and then you have to eat it and throw it away or whatever. You get a few minutes to eat. But if you're choosing to go, eat cake and eat garbage, you might not lose weight in boot camp. It's not guaranteed. You can make some bad dietary choices. I think the Navy should change that actually and get it on a stricter diet, but it's up to you. It's up to you to choose how you want to take on boot camp in some ways.
Put on our faces every day. So I try to think about that when we have to do our little flow kicks and 10 count core builders. So it has
is 10
certainly
count.
improved.
10 count core builders. What is
sure.
that? How do you do that? If you guys know how to do a 10 count core builder, please show me and let me know. I would love to go bust some of those out and see what they're like compared to 8 count bodybuilders. I'm very curious about that.
From my perspective, I do think we are good friends, Chief.
IT'd.
Yes, Chief.
Professional. Explain to me what professionalism is when you're going out of your way to talk to each other. You're talking to each other in inappropriate places. You're talking to each other when you should not be. So you tell me about professionalism.
Every single day.
You better fix your military bearing right now.
I'm sorry, Chief.
Shut up!
All right, Chief.
Here's the point. Conversations shouldn't be had. Good friends. Not in my boot camp. Everything that you guys are doing is against good order and discipline. I'm going to ensure that whatever relates.
Looks like they're maybe flirting. I don't know. I'm going to speculate there. Oh, man. I could only imagine you flirt with somebody during boot camp the whole time, and then when you get out of boot camp, it's probably on, huh? I don't know. I wasn't in a integrated division, but if I had to guess, they'll probably, find some way to meet up after boot camp, maybe date for a little while, maybe get married. Who knows? Right out of boot camp, probably. It's probably what they'll do. Anyway, hey, just be tough for those 9 weeks, and then it's over. You only have to do it once. Don't risk it. Don't risk getting set back. Don't blow it. Just gut it out. What's the problem, guys? Come on. Too easy.
If you're trying to have here in boot camp, whether it's just good friends, social buddies, or whatever you word it, I'm going to make sure that it doesn't happen here. Do the workout correctly.
Get off your knees!
Get off the deck!
Okay. Belay my last, Chief.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, getting that Marlin spike. That Marlin spike's coming.
Go, hurry up! 229. Are you ready? And 3, up to the ship. 1, 2, 3.
So the Marlin spikes, I know for a fact it's changed since I went through boot camp. I believe, I don't know if this is scuttlebutt or this is true, but Disney, like Walt Disney Company, sent somebody out there to build the new training scenario for this and for battle stations, the big event at the end of boot camp. So the Marlin spike's a ship. You have to go on there. You have to, request permission to come aboard. You do drills. You do firefighting drills. You do man overboard drills. You do getting the ship underway. So you have to throw down mooring lines, moor the ship, get those mooring lines back up, bring them back up on the ship. That's the whole drill. And it takes a lot of teamwork and coordination and training. And it's high stress. And you're on the sound-powered radios. And it's a cool part of boot camp. It's pretty fun. I would really love to check out the new one, which has been around for a while now. It's not that new anymore. If you guys have been through the new battle stations, new Marlin Spike, let me know how that is. I'm really curious.
Marlin Spike is a huge team evolution.
Get up here! Move, move, move!
So if a division feels that they operate as a team, they get to Marlin Spike and they find out exactly what real teamwork is.
Those ropes are heavy.
Now you're gonna put 4 figure 8s!
Learning how to tie a knot and cast off the line and actually tie down the ship, I felt like was a lot more practical.
Everybody has to be able to get the ship underway. And so when it comes down to line handling, when it comes down to that Marlin Spike evolution, they got to work together. Life before.
Really mooring a ship and getting a ship underway is not like that. It's not that stressful. It doesn't happen that fast. It's pretty pre-coordinated. I'm struggling to imagine a scenario in modern times where you'd have to get a ship underway that fast. Yeah, I don't know. But they make it very stressful in boot camp, so that's cool.
Marlin Spike and life after Marlin Spike was night and day.
Let's go, we got this, let's go! Slam it, slam it!
So that was really hard, but I felt like it forced us to work together.
You all have been outstanding. I am you too, Murphy. Any questions, ask me. I'll see you out there in the week.
Every single sailor is a firefighter. Damage control training is extremely important. Everybody has to know it. If they don't have the proper training,
Firefighting's pretty fun.
then you lose the ship. And that's
Might have to do that in real life. Always got to be ready for a fire on a ship.
You don't really think about all the things that can happen while you're in the middle of the ocean. You know, your ship going down or being attacked, and then really all you have is each other and the skills that you learn.
Yes, I am. I'm really confident if something was wrong. You know, for example, we did the conference chamber.
This will be the best.
Firefighting is important. So you can have lots of different types of fires on a ship. Somebody could be smoking, throw a cigarette out or a match into a trash can, have a fire there. You can have an electrical fire, a chemical fire. You know, you have your class A, B, C, D fires. You guys, if you don't already know, you'll learn about that. And once a fire starts on a ship, you got to put it out, because if a fire spreads on a ship, you know, it starts filling up different compartments, and you have to like egress from those compartments. Well, you're starting to lose ground and the fire spreads, and you don't want to be the person who can't put out a small fire. It turns into a big fire on a ship. So you got to know where the fire extinguishers are, how to read the markings on the bulkheads. And when I was in San Diego, I think it was the Washington. Oh man, what carrier was it? That's not right. It was the. I'll look this up. There was a carrier that had a giant chemical fire in their hazmat locker, and it burned up the whole bridge. And as a result, the Reagan, which was the carrier I was on, had to go on a second deployment. Only I had just gotten off the Reagan, so I didn't have to go. So it was back-to-back deployments. And the whole thing was like, oh, they should have known they're firefighting. I guess they sucked at firefighting. I guess that's how we're just made to mess with each other in the military. But yeah, they had a major fire, and it damaged their ship, and they couldn't go on deployment. So these things start small. They start with, the way to prevent them is good habits, and firefighting is important. You learn a little bit about it here, and then on the ship, you can be part of a damage control team, which I recommend.
Work day at boot camp. Booyah. Booyah. I want everybody to repeat
Oh my
after
God,
me.
that jacked me up so bad.
You would think, okay, so is this mask really gonna cover me and keep me alive? It's called confidence chamber for a reason. It gives you the confidence on the equipment of the Navy.
It wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I think on a scale of 1 to 10, I would have gave it like a 5.
It burns.
Oh, it
right
still
here.
burns.
Like right under my nose. It burns.
That gas and pepper spray were the two worst experiences of my whole Navy career, probably. I don't know. I'm really sensitive to that stuff. The pepper spray, I thought I was going to, gouge my eyes out. It hurt so bad. And then the confidence chamber there, the gas chamber, I was like coughing so bad, snot pouring out my nose. They wanted you to say your name and social security number and something else. And oh man, it was tough. It was hard. Once you start doing it, once you breathe and you figure it out, you're okay. But the first initial, when it hits you, is pretty tough. It's the initial shock that gets you.
I think we sized it a little bit more than we needed to.
Man, I just cried a lot. My eyes were watering. They're still watering. Man, I really didn't call for it. Like, it wasn't that bad as I said it was.
All right, you know what? Y'all got confidence in that gear?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Y'all see this?
Yes, Chief.
That means it's a good day. Good day to be in the Navy. Booyah, Navy!
I do believe that they're doing a lot better job getting these recruits a basic knowledge of what they're going to be expected to do once they get out to the fleet.
You feel the weight of that? Just imagine 150 PSI shooting at the end of this nozzle, and you don't have controls.
So I know when I came to boot camp 9 years ago, we had a 3 or 4 day course on firefighting and then 2 days on line handling. And now the recruits are getting it every single week once they hit week 4 until the week they graduate. And I think that will help prepare sailors for the fleet a lot better.
Order water on deck.
One of the primary things that we all do as instructors is we give these recruits the experience, the real life experience of, first of all, handling this weapon in an environment that's close to reality. It's not quiet, it's not passive. It's going to take enthusiasm to survive in an environment like this. So that's pretty much what we do. Get a good aggressive stance. Point it at your target like you mean it. Verify the weapon's clear and safe.
I didn't miss my target, which was great. So I think I did all right.
It is so stressful shooting in that situation because you're shooting's the least of your worries in that situation. You're getting screamed at. You are like so paranoid about making the wrong move. Somebody's going to like turn with their weapon or have some kind of malfunction or mishandle their weapon, violate the basic rules of firearm safety. And then the instructors are going to freak out. And honestly, it's like the most awkward environment to learn how to shoot. Like I don't think I had ever shot a gun before prior to boot camp. And then in there, it's like the worst environment to learn. And I just wanted it to be over so bad because I did not want that gun in my hands. Not because I was scared of guns or like didn't want to shoot guns, but because once that gun's in your hand, you're like, oh man, if I mess this up, I am so screwed. And then you do it and it's whatever. It's very, very limited, minimal training in boot camp. And then we did the laser shotguns, which you fire a laser, like a shotgun with a laser. It lets you know if you hit the target or not. Anyway, no big deal. I don't know if they still do that even. I guess we'll see. But I did not enjoy that part of boot camp like you might think you would.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed shooting weapons.
Since the P days to now, they're completely different recruits.
Every time we walk past Pearl Harbor, which is where P days was, we kind of see through the window the people in their PT and their sweatsuits, and we're like, man, that was us only a few weeks ago. And that was us looking out the window at some of our senior divs. And we were like, man, I wish I was there, and they're marching and they have on their uniforms and their flags, and that's so cool. And we just got here 3 days ago.
They understand that they have to work together as a team. They understand that no one can make it through boot camp completely by themselves. That's the biggest thing, and the thing that makes you the most proud as an RDC is when you see them work together as a team, understand each other's weaknesses, and really, really just come together.
All right, that's episode 5. We'll go ahead and knock out episode 6 here in a minute. That video will be available probably, unless you're seeing this today, episode 5 came out. It'll be linked maybe right here and then definitely in the end card. So let's keep this in mind real quick about boot camp. All these things that you're doing, the firefighting, the Marlin Spike, the shooting, the academic tests, you have a little, training jacket in boot camp that has all these like check boxes in it that you have to do. All you're doing is you're checking off boxes. You're checking off boxes. You have to check all the boxes to graduate boot camp. There's a minimum required list of requirements you have to meet to graduate boot camp, right? So you have to do all these things. That's kind of what's going on here. So you're checking boxes every day, checking boxes. PT tests, checking boxes. Academic tests, checking boxes. Firefighting, on and on. Gas chamber, on and on. So you do these things like one time, they're go, no go usually. Like the swim test is another one. And then when they're done, you move on to the next thing. At the end of boot camp, those are your basic skills. So you've got this list of things that you've accomplished. Those are your basic seamanship, sailorization skills that make you ready to join the Navy. and become a sailor. Okay. So if you like this video, like I said, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and check out the podcast at the ScuttleButt Show, wherever you listen to podcasts. We got episodes out there every week, and tons of episodes available for you to listen to already. They're awesome. If you are thinking about ever getting out of the military, if you're in, this channel is for you. If you're already out of the military, this channel is for you. If you're thinking about joining the military, hey, there's probably some stuff here for you too. So go ahead, follow along with the show, follow along with the social medias, all at the ScuttleButt Show. And I will talk to you guys soon. Out for now.